Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radios, the Incoherent Ramblings of C&E. Christopher and Eric are your hosts, coming to you live from Greensboro, North Carolina, as we do every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Our intro music is provided from the Podshow PodSafe Music Network. Check it out at music.podshow.com. Also, feel free to email your topics for discussion, suggestions, and comments to incoherentramblings@live.com.
Here we are live from the internationally famous C&E Studios, Greensboro, North Carolina. It's October the 1st. This is Christopher.
This is Eric.
How are you doing today, Eric?
Fantastic. And yourself, Chris?
I'm doing well. Going ahead and just throw it right out there before we get into anything. Neither of us have much material today.
We don't.
But both of us are kind of in a ranting kind of mood. So
watch out.
We may both get on a soapbox from time to time in order to fill the minutes that we have here. If people would like to call us, Eric, how can they do that?
By calling a call-in guest number, which is 646-716-6928.
That's right. And then go to Blog Talk Radio /Incoherent Ramblings and find out all the different tech-savvy ways they can get in touch with us.
Indeed. They can download past episodes off of iTunes, probably the most common method.
Right.
They can send us suggestions through the Blog Talk Radio
They email
format. So
we like interacting with our listeners. We like it when they send us stories. If you send us a story, it makes it on the air, unless it's like vulgar or something like that. It makes it on the air, even if we don't think it's good.
Right. So we don't always give you credit for it.
Well, I will usually say this is from a reader.
Not me. I usually take credit.
Not if it's lame.
If you want credit, send it to Chris.
If it's lame, we just go, oh, this is from a reader.
Right.
No, but we do bring our listeners' ideas and stories to the air.
Indeed.
It's October the 2nd. It's fall. It's a beautiful fall day here. Beautiful. It's been a beautiful
My
week.
favorite time of year.
Yes, October here in North Carolina is an awesome time.
Ohio State plays Indiana at Indiana on Saturday.
Wow. Big game. Indiana known for their football.
Yes.
Obviously. Bob Knight and so on and so forth. Yeah. Why are we talking about Ohio State?
Just because, it's what our listeners
on your mind.
It's what our listeners want to hear.
Maybe one listener.
Two?
Who? Who else?
That's right, my sister.
And she doesn't listen. Are you kidding me? She doesn't listen at all. Our loyal British listener from, I don't know if he's in Ireland, but he said he's Irish, is listening, as usual. Welcome to the show.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful weather. It came up a small little front that came through Monday, and there was a couple thunderstorms. But
small.
Uh-huh.
I was in Mexico.
Well, but I mean, it went through.
That rain was like.
Yeah, but I mean, it went through
sideways.
in minutes.
Terrible.
It was really quick.
We had people without power.
But other than that, and I welcomed it because it dropped the temperature nicely.
Yes.
Other than that, this week has been big blue sky, lots of sunshine, white fluffy clouds, and a cool breeze. And it could be a few degrees cooler, but it still has not been uncomfortable at all. It's been awesome.
What is it about this week in pedophiles?
I don't know.
It's like every other story has a pedophile in it.
I try to find some good news, and it's kind of hard. It was really hard to do this week. He's English. He just drinks the Irish whiskey. Gotcha. Okay. I knew. Yeah. I thought. I guess I misunderstood a couple weeks ago when he was somehow putting in his coffee.
Some Bushmills.
I
should have brought the Bushmills with me.
Exactly.
Good Bushmills weather.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, we were out scouring around looking for some stories, whether they be odd or interesting or good or whatever, and it seems like there's an inordinate amount of pedophile stories in the news this week, which is, I guess, somewhat disturbing.
It is.
And got us both kind of riled up, so we may...
I couldn't find that story online that I told you about. Did you find anything about it?
No, I didn't.
I even went to, I saw a story on O'Reilly last night about a pedophile who got off on probation. And he basically, as I recall from the TV episode that I watched last night, not because I have it in writing in front of me, but this pedophile molested a girl from the time she was 6 to 13 and gets off with probation. And they couldn't get an answer from the judge as to why. So I even went out to Fox News, couldn't find any update on the story or anything. Went to the O'Reilly Factors page, couldn't find anything.
So this guy, I mean, once is bad enough, but we're talking about like over a 7-year period.
7-year period.
He's been molesting this girl, and didn't you say, not to get too graphic, but didn't you say that because intercourse had not taken place, that was the reason why maybe there was some issues on how the rule or whatever? So he basically got probation for around 7 years of child molestation.
That's ruining and scarring this young girl's life.
I mean, that's so disturbing you can't even really rant.
Yeah. I mean, I was actually more angry at the judge,
right,
than I was the pedophile. Now, I mean, I would like to get my hands around both their throats.
Well, the pedophile, and I'm not making excuses. The pedophile could be mentally disturbed, like seriously mentally ill. Could have been a victim of his own when he was younger.
Doesn't justify it.
No, it doesn't justify. I'm just saying that those are factors that come in. He could have been truly remorseful, but also, like would do it and then be remorseful. None of that justifies it, but here's a judge who was in a position to do something about it, and he chooses not to
protect the rest of society.
So I'm more angry with the judge in that case.
And then he was so arrogant as to not even explain his decision.
Well, the judges, and I hope none are listening, but they often, more so than even the law enforcement, kind of treat themselves as above the law. Like, do you know who I am? I'm Judge so-and-so. I've heard that. Some of our listeners know, and Eric, I used to work at a law office, so I've been around the legal community and have been in the presence of judges, and I've actually heard more than one judge say, I'm the X and Y, Z judge of whatever. Are you aware of that? Do you know who I am? Like, I mean, does that mean you're above the law? Does that mean you can do something that I can't do legally? I mean, it's... And here's this person being asked, why did you just give probation? And he was too arrogant to give an answer. But most judges are elected positions.
Right.
So hopefully the good people that vote for him will have enough sense not to put him back in office if that's how he's going to bring justice to their area, district, whatever it is.
Right. Well, I wish I could have found more on the story, but that was...
Do you remember where it was?
I wanted to say Arizona, but I'm not positive.
Do you know, you don't remember if it was like a local or state or federal judge or anything? Okay. Inexcusable regardless, just kind of curious. I don't know. And you have multiple pedophile stories.
It seems like every story I found had some sort of pedophile slant to it. You called me around today about our pedophile.
I did, and I've already forgot what it was.
Polanski.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Lord. I don't know. It's confusing. Yes, well, as long as we're on the subject. I was, the Roman Polanski story is quite chronicled and well-known. It's not allegations. I mean, he has admitted to everything that has been said. I guess people are entitled to their opinions. However, if you're of the opinion you think he should go free and should not have to pay for his actions, then I will vehemently disagree with your opinion. But nonetheless, I was reading about Woody Allen, as you stated, it's not really in a position to be a role model of morality, who was sleeping with his own daughter, albeit still his daughter, and Martin Scorsese, and I can't remember the third, but these three, they call them filmmakers. So I read on an internet article earlier this week that they demanded Polanski to be set free.
Right.
Demanded.
Right.
And I called Eric earlier today and saying demanded under what authority?
At least the judges have some authority to be all high and mighty. It's under what if I was really blown away by the arrogance of these people. A judge, maybe a senator or congressman, some person in a political position of advocacy, the president, right?
Someone with some amount of ground to stand on could, quote unquote, demand. But these filmmakers, who are nothing but arrogant Marxists, demanding someone to be set free is mind-boggling to me. I don't understand. It's not even like they got together and say, we think he's a brilliant mind. It was a long time ago. He's expressed his regret, which he really hasn't, and we think he should be let free. It's not even like, or it's our opinion. They were demanding.
Right.
And that just really, really, it bothered me.
I was surprised that we don't have some sort of extradition treaty with France. That's where he's been living, is in France.
Right.
I was surprised that...
Well, France. I mean, we don't really need to say anything else there.
I was just surprised that you could flee to France and not get...
Well, he's been going back and forth between France and Switzerland, right? Mm-hmm. So Switzerland I can understand because of the things they have in place so people can hide.
Right.
But not... I agree. France, you would think he would have been accessible there.
Right.
We have a listener saying that we should just ask for 5 minutes in the locker room with a stick with a nail in it. and Eric definitely agrees with the fact about having a daughter.
Right. 9-year-old daughter.
Exactly. We're against vigilantism, except for in that case. If you're the father, I'm not going to pass judgment on you. I'm saying good for you. It's an unfortunate thing. And for those of you listening, we have quite a few listening right now that may or may not normally listen to us live. Normally, we try to start off the show on good tones. Right. And we will get to a few good stories. We were overcome by how many...
You being the operative word there.
Yes, but we were overcome with how many pedophile-related stories were in the news this week. And it was like, what's going on? You've got the story right here. I don't have it, but I read about it, about homeless people. Share that with us.
Homeless Georgia sex offenders ordered out of woods camps. Basically, they the only place left for the pedophiles to live was in tents.
Sex offenders.
Sex offenders.
They may not actually be pedophiles. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Good point.
Right.
Good point.
It could have been an 18-year-old having sex with a 17-year-old, and now he's a sex offender, but still.
Well, basically, there's limits to where they can live. They can't be within 1,000 feet of schools, churches, parks, and other spots where children gather.
Right.
To protect children from these pedophiles or sex offenders.
Right.
and I guess there was and I guess Atlanta has one of the strictest laws as far as where they can live and where they can't.
Very strict.
And basically, they've been forced to live in tents in a certain wooded area, and now they're being kicked out of that.
Right. Well, it's the only place that meets the criteria.
Right.
And they've been directed there by state officials. I saw pictures. They're literally living in tents.
Yeah. And now they've been given 24 hours to leave that property.
Right. Well, the business that this property is behind has been fussing about it for quite some time.
Right.
Not wanting those people there. I can't see that I blame them. The only reason why I made that exception is because I saw a news story a couple of years ago that was the example I brought up. It was a young man and a young lady. They were, high school sweethearts. The guy was 18, the girl was 17. Her parents caught them. They pressed charges. He was convicted of statutory rape, and now he has to register as a sex offender. And I think I disagree with that. I don't think that's fair, because then he automatically gets lumped in with the pedophiles
right.
automatically. And
right.
I know that's the rare exception. I was just throwing it out there. You can be a sex offender, and not. I mean, if you commit rape, you're a sex offender.
Right.
And it could have been, a 30-year-old woman. So, not necessarily pedophiles. Still, people that more often than not have done something horribly wrong. Our UK correspondent has said at the other end of the spectrum, they have a 10-year-old girl there where he lives that tried to sell her grandmother on eBay.
Oh, really?
Huh. I wonder how much your grandmother fetches nowadays. Oh, that's funny. I mean, it's great in a way. Actually, we have a caller.
Okay.
We'll take this caller live on the air. Hey, caller, you're on the air.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, we're doing well. Hope you are.
I'm doing fantastic. I was just heard you talking about me selling my grandmother, so I thought I'd call in.
Oh, are you the young lady that tried to sell her grandmother?
I am. I actually tried to sell her a while back on eBay, and I'm switched over to Craigslist.
Oh, incredible! Well, I mean, eBay.
The fees are outrageous on eBay.
They are. So were you?
They really are, and so. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Were you successful in selling your grandmother?
Actually, no. That's why I switched over to Craigslist, and I found out, on Craigslist, I could actually just rent her out instead of just selling her outright. And then it's kind of return on investment type stuff.
Gotcha. It keeps on. It's
because some people. Yeah, because some people really want to just have a grandmother just for a little bit of time, to take shopping or just to come read bedtime stories or anything like that.
Right.
So what does a grandmother go by the hour?
Well, that's kind of we're keeping that under wraps because, well, I'll tell you, it's 225 cookies for an hour. And 150 cookies for a half hour.
Oh, okay. So this isn't like a malicious type of an event. You're just renting out your grandmother for bedtime stories and grandmotherly type duties then.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been really good for us. It's really strengthened our relationship.
Well, that's really good to hear. Well, we appreciate you calling in.
And maybe that'll trend will catch on.
Yeah, it may.
Fantastic.
So, okay, well, calling
Thanks,
in.
Guys. Take care.
Thank you. So there we go. I think we've hung up on the caller. Right? Yeah, there we go. That was kind of odd. And people that are listening may think that we have something to do with that. That's not 2 weeks in a row, but 2 times over the past month that
we've had the person
who's in the story has actually called in, and we had nothing to do with that. So
I wish I had a grandmother to rent out.
Yeah, me too. Oh boy,
I could go for some cookies right now.
I could go for some cookies. And in fact, after our after-show party, we should get some cookies.
Absolutely. And those brownies are pretty awesome, weren't they?
Yeah, they were pretty good. They were. So, how about we move on to, speaking of grandmothers,
yeah.
I don't know if this lady is a grandmother. She is definitely of grandmother age.
Mm-hmm.
92-year-old lady is skydiving. This is from Concord, New Hampshire. Taking a 13,000-foot plunge from an airplane will earn most jumpers a certificate. And instructor Paul Peckham knew that wouldn't be enough for 92-year-old Jane Boxstruck. The former Air Force combat controller cut the parachutist's wings he had sewn 30 years ago on his own helmet bag and gave them to her, who celebrated her birthday this month with a flawless 120-mile-per-hour free fall in front of her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. So there is your answer.
Well, that's a good story.
It is a good story. A lady who is not letting her age stop her desire to go out and have fun and jump from an airplane. And I say good for her.
That is a good story.
I wouldn't do it.
I have a good story.
Do you?
That involves a child molester.
Oh.
Suspected child
This may
molester.
be even a stretch for you, because usually you say you have a good story and there's a decapitation or a maiming or a loss of a limb, right? Or someone gets run over by a train.
This truly is a good story.
Okay.
I think I even may have gotten it off the Good. No, I didn't get off the Good News Network. Okay. Colorado man in wheelchair tackles suspected child molester in Walmart.
Very
That's
good.
a very heroic story. Okay. Cameron Allner doesn't think of himself as a hero. True heroes don't think of themselves.
No, they don't. They don't. They blend right in.
Yes. They deflect. The wheelchair-bound Colorado resident says he did what anyone else would do when he saved a little girl from a child molester right in the Walmart where he works. Witnesses say a man sexually assaulted a young girl inside a Walmart in Westminster on September 19th, picked her up, and then tried to flee the store.
Wow.
Altner, 22, was working at the Comcast table in the front when he heard the commotion. He tackled the suspect, 34-year-old Kevin Salyers, before he could escape and held him until the cops arrived. It was something that happened so fast I didn't even think about it, Altner said. I'm not a hero. I just did what you're supposed to do. Right. Spoken like a true hero.
Absolutely. Not to take away from people like Steppenwolf and the Shadow Master and the modern superheroes of our time.
True.
But here's the gentleman. I mean, has a physical limitation. I asked you before the show went live why this gentleman with a physical limitation can do that, but yet cops can't.
I think he asked. We had a listener ask us to spell the name. The person that's a hero is Cameron Allner, Aulner, and the suspected child molester was spelled Salyers. Salyers.
Mm-hmm. So. Well, good for him. Just run him over with a wheelchair. Maybe this guy should get a mobility scooter.
Speaking of mobility scooters, I have a couple mobility scooter stories as well.
Well,
they aren't good stories. Maybe we should come back to them later.
Well, we do have an unofficial sponsor of the show.
We do.
Hey, Bernice and Joy, tell everyone which power wheelchair got you to the Grand Canyon.
I'm around. Now I'm free to see the world.
With a
There you go, our unofficial sponsor of the show, Hub Around, and we have several mobility scooter related stories today, do we not?
We have two.
We have two? Okay.
One involves Ronnie Biggs, who was recently let out of prison. He was one of the people that was a culprit in a great train robbery. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie or heard about that story.
I've heard of it, yes.
He enjoys taking a life outside of prison as he takes a spin on his mobility scooter.
Mm-hmm.
He has a mobility scooter. He's a stroke victim. He's 80. He wore a scarf, and he popped out with his son Michael, who's 35, and took a scooter around town on his mobility scooter.
I have a question. Is
Yes.
this a scarf or a pashmina Afghan?
It could be a pashmina Afghan. Knowing Ronnie Biggs, it's probably a
It probably
Afghan.
is a pashmina Afghan. Sorry.
Anyway, Ronnie Biggs, he was sentenced to 30 years for his part in a $2.6 million lira train robbery back in 1963.
Or as his friends like to call him, Biggie.
He fled for 35 years, famously living in Brazil, where he fathered the son that he was just out about on the town with on his mobility scooter. So, by the way, I saw a Facebook mobility scooter page today. Now, they had some pretty sorry stories. They didn't have any good stories there, or pictures even. So that was a good concept. We could probably outdo them.
Well, I am sure we could. There's no doubt about that.
The other mobility scooter-related story I have involves a mobility scooter hit and run.
Uh-oh.
You know they have a top speed of 8 miles an hour.
Yes.
So they're dangerous. Police are hunting an elderly man on a mobility scooter after a 90-year-old woman was seriously injured in a collision on the Isle of Wight.
Oh, speaking of the UK.
Mm-hmm. The woman was on the pavement in the High Street sundown near the Mapes Bakery when she was allegedly in a collision with a scooter being driven by a man in his 70s. The woman from Essex was taken to the hospital and treated for serious but not life-threatening injuries. Police would like to hear from anyone who might have witnessed this collision or who was in the Sandown High Street area between 11:20 a.m. and 11:40 a.m. on Tuesday morning. So if you have any information, please contact Crime Stoppers.
Maybe they got some of what our UK listener is putting in his coffee.
It could have been alcohol-related.
Maybe they had a little bit too much.
A little
went for a spin on their scooter.
Bushmills-related.
Yes.
So,
hell, driving around the streets raising Cain.
Yeah.
I have a story. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's good news is hard to find this week. But I am personally not one for the marriage proposals done in public. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm not saying it's bad. I just personally am not a big fan. And this gentleman, however, he's a New York City fire Samaritan, they call him. He saved a young child from a fire, and that was caught live on TV. And then he proposed to his fiancée, well, his girlfriend, live on TV.
Oh.
Fortunately, she didn't say no.
I've always you always got to take.
Yes, I've always, I've actually seen someone propose live at a ball game I was at, and while the girl didn't say no, she never answered. That was very, very awkward. At least just say yes for the moment, and then go back and say, "What were you thinking? I'm not going to marry you." Maybe. She never answered. She just looked at him and was like in shock.
Are you nuts? Oh.
So
have you been putting Bushmills in your coffee?
I just, I don't know. I think if someone did that to me, I would, I don't know if I would answer either. Unless I knew about it beforehand, then it's not really a surprise.
It depends on the person. That's how
I
I
guess
would
so.
answer. I have a good news story.
Okay, well, please share. We need some good news.
This comes from South Africa.
Right.
South African mine discovers a 507-carat white diamond. This comes from Johannesburg. Mining group Petra Diamonds has discovered a 507.55 carat white diamond at South Africa's Cullinan mine, one of the highest quality rough diamonds ever found, the firm said. The spectacular gemstone was recovered on Thursday, the 24th of September, and is currently with experts for analysis. Internal examination of the diamond, which weighs just over 100 grams, 3.5 ounces, have shown it to be of exceptional color and clarity. The diamond is undergoing color grading and is believed to be a rare Type II diamond with very low traces of nitrogen, considered an impurity, making them one of the most transparent and colorless of the gems. That same mine gave the world the spectacularly beautiful and important diamond. We now eagerly await the findings. Let's see here. The precious stone was found alongside 3 other special white gems of similar color and clarity a large diamond of 168 carats, and another one of 58.5 and 53.5.
This doesn't state like worth, does it? Or value?
It doesn't. It does not.
I would have to imagine it would have to be worth quite a bit.
It does say this same mine used to be owned by De Beers, and there was a diamond found in that mine in 1905, which is now part of the British Crown Jewels that weighed in at that had 3,106 carats.
Oh, wow. Okay, well maybe 500 isn't as I thought.
In May of 2008, they found a 101 carat diamond.
You know, an interesting thing I heard on the TV a couple of months ago, that diamonds are basically intrinsically worthless. This guy was actually, he wasn't the CEO, but he was something like the chief marketing officer or something like that for, it wasn't De Beers, but a company like that. Actually, it was, what's that, the one that the girls like, even though it's the same diamond you can get anywhere? Oh, my mind goes blank in my old age. Tiffany's.
Okay.
It was someone with Tiffany's, and they said, I mean, diamonds are basically worthless. The only reason why they're worth anything is because people are convinced that they are, which I guess is really the case with anything. But nonetheless, I mean,
plus I think just a few companies hoard
the entire
market, and they just dish them out at a very slow rate to keep the value high.
Exactly. Yeah, because they have, basically this person said that if all of the diamonds that were in possession were released right now, they would be completely worthless. They would be as common as, sand or dirt. So I think that's the point they were making. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely only a handful of companies that really control that market worldwide.
Right.
Very interesting. Wonder where the Pink Panther was found.
I don't know.
I've always wondered, is that even a real jewel?
I don't know. I'm not up on my geology.
I like Steve Martin. He makes me laugh. I was born a poor black child.
Stay away from the cans.
He hates the cans. If you haven't seen The Jerk, do yourself a favor and go watch it. Funny movie. Do you have a funny story for us? Something that might lift our spirits?
I have some more good stories.
Oh, please.
Another good story while we're still on that subject.
Yes.
Patty Hankin always thought she found great value in the rickety rocking chair. She plunked down $200 for it in an auction, figuring she would restore it, at a later date. It was a century-old relic. She took it home, and during her restoration, she turned it over and took the seat apart, and an envelope fell out with a key in it. And it said "Finder's Keeper" typewritten on it. Inside was a key taped to a note. Basically, this note and a key pointed to a possible treasure that was buried a century ago, and that basically the note said that it had that buried was like a certain amount of stuff, several gold pieces and that kind of stuff. She went to that site, rented a backhoe, and she's not yet found the buried treasure.
What's interesting, we're talking about treasure and you're talking about that diamond. I read a story earlier this week where I'm pretty sure it was in the UK. A gentleman was out with a metal detector. It was kind of like a hobby of his, going around, and he found that this. Sorry, people, forgot to silence the ringer down here. We apologize about that. Very popular here at the C&E studios.
You are.
Well, people are calling to set up interviews, and we turn them down. We just don't have the time.
Well, we have time to read your book.
I mean, seriously. Well, we ask them to send us the book, and they don't send it. So that's their problem. Anyhow, found this large amount of gold, and I mean, like large. They can't even assess the value right now. It's a humongous amount gold and jewels and metal that warriors would wear, and just huge amount.
Where was he?
Somewhere in Great Britain. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I think maybe in Cornwall or no. I shouldn't say where.
If you find a treasure like that, surely he wasn't on his own property.
I don't think he was. No.
So who claims it? Who gets that?
I would think he does. I would hope.
Well, I mean, if it's on my property, I'm going to say it's mine.
Well, if it's on your property, of course. I don't know. I don't know how that plays out, but he found, and the funny thing is, he had been at the same spot many times and never found it, but there had been a big rain, I believe, and some of it was like basically level with the earth. But they've got a backhoe in there and they've been digging it up, and they're just finding, tons and tons of this gold and silver and like they said the craftsmanship was second to none. They said it still has a shimmer and a shine that just they can't believe it because it's been there like 100 years. I believe they said it was maybe some Nordic warriors that were coming through raping and pillaging and whatnot.
Where did you see this story?
It was on. I'm sure it was off of the MSN. I don't really.
You should forward those to me. I find those I love those kind of stories.
It was very cool. They said the craftsmanship and detail work was just amazing. It was still shiny. It was really neat story. They didn't have any pictures. It'd be kind of cool if they did. But like legitimately, 120, 130-year-old stuff.
Right.
And of course, the guy that found it was very excited. So, it's a neat story.
I'd be a treasure hunter if I could make any money in it.
If we were already independently wealthy, then it wouldn't matter.
Exactly. If I win the lottery, that will be my new profession.
Will it?
Yes. I will become a treasure hunter.
Well, because I probably won't do anything. Oh, you said hobby. No, you said profession.
Yeah.
Okay. I may have a hobby.
There you go.
I won't have a profession.
It will be my official hobby.
Okay. Mine would be fishing, and basically doing nothing.
Cooking stuff on a fire.
Yeah. I would probably eat more meals at home because I would have more time to cook, and I enjoy cooking. So, well, we have a story. Who gets this one?
You take it because I don't know who's got the most left. I only got like 2 left.
Oh, okay.
Take it.
Well, you know there are people. We all know people that have dated and then broken up. And you never like to see that happen, but you really want that to end amicably if it can. Well, here's one that didn't end very well. This comes from Pasadena, Texas. Authorities say a Houston area woman who was burned up at her former common-law husband fried their pet goldfish and ate some of them. How angry? Well, first of all, she must not have cared about
the woman ate the goldfish.
Yes. Yes. Hell hath no revenge like a woman scorned.
Yes.
Faint heart, never won fair lady. Wait a second, that doesn't go. I don't know if you'd want to win this lady. She doesn't seem too fair. Pasadena police say it's a civil matter and no charges will be filed. The 7 goldfish were purchased together by the couple during happier times. Police spokesman Vance Mitchell says the man reported on Saturday that the woman took the goldfish from his apartment. Mitchell says the two argued earlier about some jewelry the man had given her but took back. She wanted the jewelry returned. Officers who were dispatched to the woman's home arrived to find 4 fried goldfish on a plate. The woman said she had already ate the other 3.
They're in my tummy.
So, somewhat humorous story, and odd enough to make it here on the air. I just thought that was kind of humorous. Like we said, obviously she didn't have much love for the goldfish, and obviously she was hungry.
Well, no, you got to eat a lot of goldfish to fill up.
Yeah, they are not very big. That's true.
I'm not sure how I'd fix my goldfish.
Our UK correspondent is earning his keep. He looked it up, and the treasure was found, and I'm going to say it's either going to be Dunstable or Dunstable. Probably Dunstable. I'm going to just say that. And I'm not Gloucestershire. I don't know phonetically how that's pronounced. nonetheless, I did the best I could. And as of yet, no value has been put on it. So they're in the UK.
It's like Gloucestershire to me.
Gloucestershire? Yeah, Gloucestershire. Anyhow.
I thought you were making it up.
No. The metal detector only cost him £2.5 pounds. And he has found something worth a lot more than that. I think he bought the metal detector at a yard sale or a flea market or something like that, and it was kind of like a little hobby of his.
Right.
It's kind of neat.
It's paid for itself.
Exactly. If he gets a cut out of this, it definitely has been worth his while.
Wow. I'm jealous.
So I hope to never have an ex, but if I do, she better not eat Bella.
Yeah, so you're right. It's like eating a pet, isn't it?
I know. I mean, fish, I guess you don't get as attached to fish as, because, as you would maybe even a bird or a cat or a dog.
And it's more likely to eat fish than a dog.
Exactly.
At least here.
At least here. I have often threatened Bella to take one of her hindquarters for Thanksgiving. I have. When she misbehaves. Because she's a horribly behaved dog.
Oh, yes. Oh, I tell you.
Shame on it. She's already left. She was down here with us to start the show, but she's gone upstairs to her bed. So, do you have a story for us there, Eric? An interesting or a weird story?
We should look up recipes for goldfish. We should post some. Like
maybe we should do that. Goldfish recipes.
We should experiment with that this week.
I've been trying to line up. Our administrative assistant has been trying to line up an interview with Emerald. Maybe we could ask Emerald on his opinion on how to correctly fix a goldfish.
Have an Iron Chef episode with the ingredient goldfish.
I have eaten carp. I do not like them, and basically goldfish are in the same family. What are those large goldfish people have in like an outdoor pond? Are basically like small carp. They're very muddy tasting fish. Some people love them. I don't care for them. So probably tastes about like that.
Maybe a goldfish smoothie.
Goldfish. Oh man,
Goldfish-o-matic.
A goldfish smoothie, uncooked. Yeah. Well, basically, Eric and I made up koi. Thank you. A listener of ours says, I was saying carp. I meant to say koi. Carp's same thing, but koi. The Japanese koi. All this.
Now, those koi's get big.
Ginormous.
You could get full on eating 3 of those.
I don't think you could eat 3. I've seen koi almost the size of me.
Yeah, I was when I was a kid living in Dayton, Ohio. There's a NCR, National Cash Register, was there before AT&T bought them and moved them away. And they had a big park there called Old River, and they had like 3 Olympic-sized swimming pools put together. They had this little creek or stream or whatever that meandered through it. And in that stream, there were these huge, the size of a kid, I guess carp, like you were talking about, that we would feed every day. And it was so much fun. You watch them, you throw it off this bridge, and this big fish would come up, and I mean, if a kid fell in there, it'd be dangerous.
Well, they're vegetarian,
right?
So, sorry, I should have just went along with it. A place that you and I have gone to together, Castle McCullough.
Yes.
In the moat, they have some large koi in there. One of them approaching 6 feet.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes. I stood out there on the bridge over the moat for about 15 minutes one day. I was determined not to leave until I saw them. And I saw a couple that were 3-4 feet long, but then the big one came up. And they said he was about 5.5 feet, between 5.5 and 6 feet long, and he was absolutely huge. And it was a he.
They eat small children. Don't
they? Yeah, they do. They disobedient children. After the 3rd time you're sent to the closet, you get fed to the koi.
That's right. Yeah. So
There we go. Yeah, I guess this lady had enough of this guy's behavior, and so she decided she would eat their pet. I'm not sure she was.
Is that one of your good stories, Rita?
No, actually, my good story is about the man who's sneaking in and rubbing on women while they're asleep.
Oh, awesome. Well, here's do you have an iPhone?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No, I don't really care for Macintosh.
Well, this would be the perfect app for you if you had one. It's called Rate My Poo.
Rate My Poo.
Okay. It's a really silly iPhone app, and basically how it works is it's a poo log, part fecal tracker, part bathroom timer, part trivia game, and it's all pulled together in this surprisingly fun app that's easy to use and to create a different kind of poo log that you're probably used to. I'm not really used to any kind of poo log at this point.
I weigh some pretty big logs.
But you can use it, produce it while you're on the can, and you can track how much time you're going using on the can to do your business. And anyway, I just thought that might be a fun thing for you to get from your iPhone.
No, if I had one, that would be a perfect opportunity. I might have to go get an iPhone
just for that app.
Yes.
Maybe Luke can download it so you can play with it.
Yes.
Rate My Poo.
Rate My Poo. If you have an iPhone and you're listening, go check it out.
Send us a poo log.
Yes. Or not. We know someone who will take pictures of their fecal matter.
I have gotten pictures on my phone
and then
of
text
people's
them.
fecal matter.
Yes. I mean, that's what friends are for.
Indeed.
Through good times and bad times. It's kind of disturbing when you get a picture and you open it up and it's a bowl full of poo.
You've got names for different types of poo.
Yes. Yes, we do.
If only there was a website where you could go and view different types of fecal matter.
There might be one in the very near future. I know someone who knows someone that may be working on that. And this Rate My Poo, we might have to talk to the person that created that. I mean, the person I'm talking about may have to go talk to them. Well, here's my story about this man. As a college student, he's allegedly, I hate that word, he's breaking into homes. They were unlocked apartments, so it's not actually breaking and entering. It's entering. A college student has been charged with breaking into unlocked apartments. That's not really correct. And rubbing women's legs while they are sleeping. He's not doing anything else, just rubbing their legs. Police said when the women awake, the man flees. Bond was set at $100,000 for the 19-year-old man who was charged with 3 counts of criminal trespass.
Well, they've caught him.
Yes, they have caught him. They really they wake up. There's a man dressed in all black, and he's rubbing their legs. No other contact is reported. The suspect was arrested early Sunday morning near the apartment complex. And that's all the story says. They really don't go into any reason why. They really don't say, I mean, they said that no other contact was reported. It sounds like to me it's just maybe this strange fetish of wanting to rub a woman's legs while she's asleep. I don't know. Because he's not doing anything else.
One of the victims was quoted as saying, a little to the left. No, stop. Harder.
Oh, stop.
Don't.
Anyhow, that was an odd story. He's at least the apartments are unlocked. He must be just going around to unlock apartment doors and walking in. Yeah, exactly. A listener says, when you start a story with there was a college student, there is no allegedly about it. I have to agree. With college kids, who knows? It's quite amazing.
Well, I'm out of stories.
You're out of stories.
Unless you want to get back on the pedophile kick.
Well, this was a bad week for stories altogether. Yeah. Here's another story. I mean, we usually come up with some odd stories. Like the last story. If it had gone into, like, if they had interviewed him and he gave some bizarre, like if he was talking like he was from another planet, or if he was talking about some bizarre fetish he had, that would have fulfilled that story. It was just, he broke in and rubbed their legs and they woke up. That was it. I mean, it had the making of a good story, just it was a little vapid, weak. And this story is the same way. A Pennsylvania teen has been charged with branding his friends. He's using heated metal objects because the boys thought it was cool. Trooper James Pierce of Uniontown Barracks says Tuesday he filed one count of illegal tattooing and body piercing against a 15-year-old New Salem boy with Fayette County juvenile probation officers. He said the suspect branded his friend, a 15-year-old boy from Uniontown, by heating a fork, a key ring, a cross, a heart-shaped cookie cutter, and a crucifix over several hours on September 19th through 20th. The brands were on the second boy's arms, shoulders, and chest. Pierce said the boys thought it was cool, but the victim's parent didn't and alerted authorities. The boys are not being identified because of their age.
Now, did the brandee go along with it?
Yes.
Then how can you be charged?
Apparently, they have a law like we do here in North Carolina where you have to be of a certain age or older to get a tattoo or a branding. Like here in North Carolina, you have to be 18 or older. None of this, like if you get your ear pierced, you have to be a certain age or older, but if you have a parent or guardian with you, you can be under that age. But if you're being tattooed, it doesn't matter. You have to be 16 or 18. I don't know exactly.
So if a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old kid
mm-hmm.
says, I'd like to have my tongue pierced,
mm-hmm.
and their friend does it,
mm-hmm.
then their friends can be arrested, but the person who asked them to do it can't.
Well, I don't know about arrested. They could probably be charged with.
Well, okay.
Yeah. Probably the person that was asking probably would be too. Because they aren't doing the illegal act.
Right.
Yeah. I doubt anything serious will happen to either kid.
Right.
The parents are probably very upset because, I mean, I want to read this list again because, I mean, it's a fork, a key ring, a cross, a heart-shaped cookie cutter, and a crucifix. Over several hours, he was just heating these metal objects up and branding this kid over his arms, shoulder, and chest. So, I mean, this kid is scarred for life in what he thought was quote-unquote cool
at the moment.
At the moment when he's, 19,
true,
which is not that far away, he is probably going to regret it, and then he's got the rest of his life to regret this.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if both kids were going along with it, I really can't see how much trouble either one could get in.
Right.
Legally. Maybe with their parents. But legally, I'm not sure there's much that should be done. The stupidity of
as long as the brander was younger age as well.
Yes. Yeah, well, of course, if it were an adult, then yeah. So, I mean, that's all the stories either one of us had. So now we're just going to...
Do you want to rant about the Detroit incident?
What incident are we talking about?
Oh boy, he got killed.
Yeah, I will, and we like to keep it on a positive note. And you actually found something positive. You brought it. Not that it's positive. You found some silver lining. And
did I?
How did I do that? You did. Well, basically, there was a young man named Darius in Detroit, Michigan. On his way home from school, he lives in the ghetto. He does, and has been well reared by a mother who took interest in him, and he was not in a gang.
Honor student.
Honor roll student. Teachers, his pastor, the gentleman that's over the community center where he lives.
Active in his church, active in his community,
well respected by
good
the authority
student.
figures. Yes. On his way home from school, there was a shooting earlier in the day that was gang-related. And apparently there was, this was retaliation for that shooting. And apparently these two factions, two neighborhoods, one called the Ville, and the other one I can't remember the name, but it's the name of the borough or whatever. It's the name of the neighborhood. Right. They decided they're going to, go out and fight because of the shooting earlier in the day. This young man was not a member of either faction, was walking 8 blocks from his school to his bus stop, and just happens to get caught up in the melee, and was literally beaten to death. Literally beaten. He was originally punched in the kicked in the head, then punched in the face and knocked unconscious. When he comes to, he's trying to drag himself away from the melee, and apparently that didn't go over well with these animals that were out there in the street fighting, and they proceeded to hit him over the head with a railroad tie, and then one other one repeatedly stomped his head. Finally, some of his friends were able to drag him over to a warehouse and call for help. It was already too late. I'm sure he was dead at that point. He was pronounced dead later at the hospital. And the thing that really, really frustrates me about this is people behaving like animals. Now, kids or no kids, we are humans. We're not animals. Right. And I cannot imagine, and there was no reason for it. They're just out fighting in the street. It would have been wrong and it would have been bad if someone from one of the gangs had been killed. Right. If the person who had shot someone earlier had been killed, it would have been wrong, but at least it would have made sense on some level. Someone who was not associated with either gang, who was a model young citizen against all odds, innocent, was killed. And it really, really upset me. And then the article upset me because it said the city of Chicago. It wasn't Detroit. That's right. That's right. It was Chicago. It was Chicago. The city of Chicago, where our president hails from. Right. They were saying this is not the image they want to portray because they're currently in a bid for the Olympics. Right. And that statement did not go over well with me. That's not the image you should want to portray, and I'm sure that's what they meant. But whether they want to portray that image or not doesn't change the fact that it happened. You don't sweep that under the carpet and say, we still want our Olympic bid. You have to admit it because it happened. Right. And then you got the First Lady going overseas making a bid to the IOC, for Chicago. And I understand vying for that. It helps the economy and all that, but still, it was upsetting. I guess it wasn't really a good part that you brought out, but you said here was a lady actually rearing her child correctly, taking an interest in her child, doing the best she could with the means that she had, and this tragedy has come to her. Right. But, very frustrating.
I did see on the news this morning that the 4 arrested, charged for beating this individual were being held without bond.
Oh, yes.
And they weren't young. I mean, one was 18.
The oldest was 19. The oldest was 19. I think
the youngest was 16.
Two were 16, one was 17, one was 19, something like that.
I think 19, 2 18, and 1 16.
Okay, yes. 3 of the 4 have been charged with first degree, and the other one's just been charged with murder. Right. They are pleading, and we will plead. If you have any information, go to the police. The police are really frustrated with this whole not wanting to be a snitch mentality. Right. If you have information, this was a young man that should not have been involved in this and did not want to be and was killed against his will.
And we are sorry for ending the show on such a negative note.
We are, but it's a horrible story.
Not a good week for news.
No.
And we'll give them the Sheep Award.
Yeah, those.
And a pedophile, we'll just give everybody a Sheep Award.
Yes, Sheep Award for everybody. Sorry for having ending on such a negative note.
I had even more negative pedophile stories that I will not share.
We will not share, yes. Well, that's all for this week. We will see you guys.
Absolutely.
This has been Blog Talk Radio's The Incoherent Ramblings of C&E. Christopher and Eric are your hosts, and we would like to thank you for listening to our show today. Don't forget to tune in for next week's show live from Greensboro, North Carolina, as we are every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time.